I'm excited because I got my man over here, Alex, telling me every day, like, dude, we're excited for the season. We have big names. So like when Taylor Hall signed in, everyone was looking at me like, "Yo, did you know who we just signed? We just signed this ex MVP Taylor Hall." I'm like, "Who?" That was my reaction. I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, like, I know too. Where he's in the Capitals, I heard they're projected pretty low this season. Now they lost some names. They're not going to be doing too well.
Yeah. For Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah,
Yeah. Washington is a team where they're getting older quicker. It's kind of like their window's closing, similar to how the 14-15 Rangers did. Ovechkin's getting up there now. I think this is his last year of his current contract. Backstrom's getting up there as well. TJ Oshie, I think, is about to turn 30 or just turned 30. So their core is aging and the window is closing. The starting goaltender for them is most likely going to be Ilya Samsonov. Braden Holtby now signed with the Vancouver Canucks as a starting goaltender. So it's going to be really tough for Washington. They had a lot of defensive problems last season. But I think if Ilya Samsonov can prove that he is a number one goaltender, then I think they're all right. Like I said before, their defense took a really big hit. They got Justin Schultz coming in, who was a former Penguin, former Oiler. Good defenseman, all-around solid player. And they fired their head coach right when they were eliminated from the play-in rounds, from the round robins. And they hired Peter Laviolette, who has been around the league forever, it seems like. So however long I've been watching hockey. He won a Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes in 2006. He was a very good Philadelphia Flyers head coach. He reached the Stanley Cup Finals twice with the Flyers and the Predators. It's all going to fall in the right place for Washington. They have their stars. They have their scorers, Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie. Former Ranger Carl Hagelin now there full-time. So, in the division, going up against eight times going up against these teams, for Washington, it's going to be a little tough, but I mean, they have the vets to be able to get through it and do it.
Yeah, you mentioned about Peter Laviolette. You had to bring up that he was the Canes coach in 06. Ripped my heart out. But yeah, no, Washington's an interesting team. I mean, this East Division's tough. What was your reaction when you found out who the Rangers be going up against? Now, I mean, I know for them a lot of them they're already familiar with, but
yeah. See, what's funny, actually, you mentioned the 06 team again. Kevin Adams, now your general manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Rangers standpoint, I'm not going to lie. You eliminated Columbus and Carolina, and both of those teams are so defensively structured with John Tortorella coaching for Columbus and Rod Brind'Amour for Carolina. Those two teams now, I believe they moved to the Central. They get away from the East. And then you add in a very young and up-and-coming Buffalo team. They're on the rise. And then you also add in they're on the opposite of what Buffalo's doing, in my opinion anyway, Boston. I still think they're going to be a very good team. But I think their defense, again, needs a little more work. How many years does Tuukka Rask have? My initial reaction was, I need him to do whatever they need to do in order for the hockey to just start again. I don't care if they put the Rangers in the Western Conference. I don't care if they have to play the Islanders 40 times. I just need hockey back. But I think it's really cool now that we're going to see the Rangers and Sabres, the maximum they might have played over the last few seasons was maybe 4 times a year. Maybe. I believe that no matter what, they played at least 3 times, and the maximum was 4 times a year. So now it's another New York rivalry that the Rangers and Sabres could have coming in now with 8 games on a season. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, do whatever you got to do to play the season. But I was worried at first, seeing what we have to, go up against, and the fact that it's only top 4 in each division. It's not really conferences this year. And at first I'm like, all right, we lost out. We lose. We don't have to face Tampa. We don't have to worry about them. I'm like, all right, well, we're also losing out on Ottawa and Montreal, who I think we would have been better than, and instead replace them with Pittsburgh and Washington and the Rangers, Islanders, Flyers. I mean, it's such a tough division, but
yeah.
We were talking about what do you think are some of the weaknesses this season?
For as
Sabres.
A whole, or
yeah,
just for Buffalo?
I mean, just for Buffalo, for Buffalo, and you can even talk about because we'll get to these divisions. I mean, you want to bring up your you want to talk about your Rangers, man. I know you're a big Rangers fan. I know you're a big fan, but
yeah.
But I mean, we were talking about, right? Me and Alex were talking about in the season, like weakness would probably be depth, because I can, you could tell me we could sign big names, but who's behind them? Like, who's
Yeah,
gonna
for
go?
Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, they have depth. They do. Cody Eakin, really good depth player, very good depth player for Vegas and Dallas over the last few seasons. Buffalo's young. Jack Eichel's only 24, still only 24. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got guys like Rasmus Dahlin coming in, who's starting to become not a veteran, but he's finally getting a couple seasons into the NHL. It's all about growing pains. The Rangers have had growing pains for the last 2 seasons. I still don't think they're quite ready to take the next step. They're just too young. So it's all about experience for guys. And having a guy like Taylor Hall come in as the big free agent, it's a great move. He was on kind of a mixed, youngish Devils team. When he first broke into the league, he was on a young Oilers team. He was the face of Edmonton before they got McDavid. But for Buffalo mainly, they did a really good job filling out their bottom six with guys like Cody Eakin, Tobias Reeder. You look to a guy like Tage Thompson now coming into his first full NHL season. Olafson's gonna be consistent. He's gonna be a good top six guy. But for the bottom six, a guy like Tage Thompson, who you got in the Ryan O'Reilly trade, I think Tage Thompson needs to learn how to take the next step and become an everyday player. I think he's definitely got it in him. Tage Thompson, 2017 World Junior United States champion. I've liked him since he started playing then. I think he's got a chance to be a really good depth bottom six guy. And goaltending for Buffalo, I think it's Linus Ullmark. I know you have Carter Hutton, who's been there forever. I feel like he's been in the league forever at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Linus Ullmark's probably going to be your number one guy, so it's really smart to get him some looks this season. And in a shortened 56-game season, it's good to just make sure these young players play every single game that they're able to. By the end of the season, they're still technically, every rookie that's coming in are still technically not going to have a full 82-game season under their belt. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like the younger players come into next upcoming season, not this upcoming season, the next season, and try to find their bearings again for the younger players.
Oh, hey, you made it this far. Hey, you might as well give us a like, or you might as well subscribe too. Please?
Please.